Now to Wusetu in Abuja, where the New Nigeria's People's Party presidential candidate, Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, is presenting the party's campaign blueprint to Nigerians. Let's take a listen into this event.
Hajia Dr. Mariam Yasin. We have a number of gubernatorial candidates here present, which include Distinguished Senator Haliru Jika Toro of Bauchi State, Honorable Ibrahim Ringin of Jigawa State, Engineer Abba Kabir Yusuf of Kano State, and Professor Sani Yahaya of Taraba State. We have the gubernatorial candidate for the Nnpp in Kaduna State, Senator Suleiman Othman Hunkwi.
Ladies and gentlemen, in our midst, we have the gubernatorial candidate of Zamfara State, Professor Kabir Umar Jambaka, is also here in our midst. We have Professor Ben Angbe of Benue State is here with us. We stand to be corrected, please. The gubernatorial candidate of Bauchi is Haliru Jika, is also here with us. The gubernatorial candidate of Oyo State, Engineer Popola Joshua Olukayedewe, is also here with us. We have the gubernatorial candidate of Nasarawa State, Alhaji Abdullahi Yakubu Medoya, is also here with us. And also we have some senatorial candidates who graced this occasion this afternoon. We had the gubernatorial candidate of Niger State, Alhaji Muhammad Sakodeke, is also here with us. We have Professor Alkali, the gubernatorial candidate of Maduguri, Borno State. Borno State, sorry for the inconveniences. Nasco, you are most welcome, sir. Distinguished Senator Rufai Hanga is also here with us. Distinguished Senator, inshallah, to be the Kagara of the Tambari of Kagara is also here with us. We have the Deputy Governor of Jigawa State, Senator Abdulaziz, is also here with us. Colonel Umar from Niger State is also here with us. The Deputy Governor of Kano, Comrade Abdul Salam, is also here with us. You are highly welcome, sir. As we recognize you, we'll continue to announce your names. The National Working Committee members are also here, seated. We have Dr. Eje, the Zonal Vice Chairman, South-South, is also here with us. The Zonal Chairman, Southwest Chief, is also here with us. The spokesman of Mr. President is also here with us. Mr. Ladipo Johnson is also here with us. The Zonal Vice Chairman of the Southeast, my friend Prince Onu, is also here with us. You are highly welcome, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, please permit me to also recognize some of our political party chairmen in the state. We have Honorable Kure from Kaduna State is also here with us. We have Alhaji Sani Malan of Bauchi is also here with us. Dr. Umar of Taraba is also here with us. The chairman also of Plateau State is also here with us. Chairman Benue is here with us. Ladies and gentlemen, permit me to also announce Honorable Mohammed Dahiru Gandaji, the Deputy Governor of Bauchi State, is also here with us. My colleague.
Thank you very much. At this point, I'm privileged to invite Honorable Ayade, the Zonal Vice, Honorable Ayaode, the Zonal Vice Chairman of the Nnpp Southwest, to open the session with the prayers. Honorable sir. Yeah.
the Almighty God, our Creator and our Father, we thank you for your grace, for your mercies, and your blessings over us. We thank you for today. We thank you for the gift of life. We thank you for giving us Dr. Musa Rabiu Kwankwaso, who you have destined to come and change Nigeria for better. Almighty God, thank you. As we start our program this morning, we call you to be with us. Grant us every peace in this gathering and make it to come to pass the aspiration of New Nigerian People's Party in Nigeria, and give us the grace needful for us to fulfill all our promises to the people of Nigeria. We pray in the name of Almighty God, Jesus Christ. Bless us, grant us peace, and be with us now and forever. Amen.
Thank you very much, Honorable Lawyer Wade, the Zonal Vice Chairman, Southwest. We will be closing, inshallah, with the Muslim prayers. Your Excellency, I want to grab your indulgence with your permission to invite the National Chairman of our great party, Professor Rufai Ahmad Al-Kali, to deliver a welcome address at this occasion.
Sorry, the National Chairman, with your kind permission, as we stand here, we have to observe the national anthem. The protocol has been breached, sorry. Please, ladies and gentlemen, let's have the national anthem, please. Thank you very much. Please have a seat. Our National Chairman, Professor Al-Kali, over to you, sir.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Your Excellency, the leader of the New Nigeria People's Party and the presidential candidate of our great party, the Nnpp, distinguished Senator Engineer Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, PhD, and the next president of Nigeria 2023, inshallah. A very gentleman and amiable man of substance, the Vice President, Bishop Isaac Odausa, the Deputy National Chairman of our great party, John Chris Ifemeje, the National Secretary is on assignment somewhere, is going to join us shortly. The Secretary of the BOT, the man who everybody hears and sees every day fighting for Nnpp, Engineer Bubagaladima, the Secretary of the BOT. Distinguished members of the National Working Committee here present, all of them are here today, Your Excellency. Our governorship candidates, senatorial candidates, House of Representatives candidates, and our field commanders, the chairman of our state in various states of the federation here present, all of them are here, sir. Other members of the Nnpp, stakeholders, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning. Your Excellency, today is the day Nigerians have been waiting for. Today is the day Nigerians are also waiting for you. Today is the day Africa is also waiting for you. Sir, today is the day the whole world is watching, waiting for you. The leadership of Nigeria is so important, so critical to the future of this great country called Nigeria. With our vast resources, vast population, whatever happens in 2023 will affect everybody in every way and in every manner. Therefore, everybody is waiting for the day when they will see who is the next president of Nigeria. In the past few weeks, we have been seeing people dancing around, making noises, staying in the cloud. Today we are on the ground. We are going to present our presidential candidate, his own blueprint for the future of Nigeria, for the future of a greater Nigeria. Ordinarily, Central Rabi Musa Kwankwaso does not require any advertisement. Because they say, if you look at honey, nobody advertises honey because people look for honey, they know where it is. But because today, the world is full of contamination, you have to know the kind of honey you are going to buy. So that's why even if somebody is advertising his own honey, we have to advertise our own honey, who is original, who is authentic, and who is reliable. This is a man that has seen it all. In the past 32 years, he has been engaged in politics from the beginning, starting with being a member and a deputy member and deputy House representative of the House of Representatives in 1992. Since then, he never looked back. He has been the governor of Kano State, one of the largest, if not the largest state and most complex in Nigeria today. With 44 local governments, he ran it for 4 solid years. He migrated to be a minister of defense. He went back to continue the good work in Kano very well, perfectly well. He served in one of the most sensitive committees, the NDDC, which gave him opportunity to know the kind of problem and challenges in the Niger Delta region. Since then, he has used his office as governor, as senator, and minister, and even when he is on inactive service, to contribute to the development of Kano and Nigeria in every way possible. This is a man that from his own pocket has trained men and women who are today professors, doctors, who are serving various businesses, both in Nigeria and outside Nigeria. Yesterday we saw them here lining up saying, thank you, sir, for remembering us. He has even gone further to say in every state of the federation, they should contribute 4 students, 2 male, 2 female. And they were now brought to Merwa University here, one of the first Indian university in Nigeria, to also be given free education. They were here to say, thank you, sir. And he is a person who has consistently taken the position whenever there's any problem in any part of the country, anywhere, whether it is in Enugu, whether it is in Oka, whether it's Onitsha, whether it's Lagos, anywhere, whenever a problem emerges, he will move, leave his comfort zone and go and intercede to bring together. Sir, ordinarily you don't need to come out and say you want to be a president. In fact, you have not done that. We are the one who invited you and say, come out, you cannot continue staying at home. You are too important to stay at home doing nothing. We have asked the people of Kano to borrow us to you, to the peoples of Nigeria, so that you can do it for Nigeria. Throughout his stay as governor of Kano State, every Wednesday when they meet at the State Executive Committee Council, end of the day, the following day, in the details and approval are public. Interest of Nigeria in terms of security, economy, education, healthcare, and everything. Please, sorry, I'm being sentimental or emotional now. because this is the day we must present our presidential candidate so that people know we are not, this presidential election that we are doing, we are not talking about this is my turn. This is not my turn. We are talking, you are a product for Nigeria and for Nigerians, and Nigerians can trust you. Because in any leadership today in Nigeria, if it has no credibility, it has no honesty, it has no inclusiveness, it's selfish, nobody will support it, nobody will follow it. All of us here, we are following because we believe in you. Because even with our eyes closed, we can follow you because we know you are taking us to the required path of progress. Nigerians are now being told to stay at home because they are security challenge. How can any country do that to us? Because they don't believe in what we are doing. It is time for us to stand up and support presidential candidate Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso. On this note, I want to thank you very much, Your Excellency, for creating this opportunity. For the first time, yesterday you almost spent 4 hours, 5 hours to look at the blueprint so that you carry everybody along. Not like other people who are doing their blueprint by consultants. You are doing it yourself. You are integrated. Implementation will be easy. Thank you very much. Nnpp! No, if you are not saying Nnpp, then you are not part of us. If you did not take breakfast, go and take breakfast and come back here. Nnpp! So Kadeke, you are not saying anything. Nnpp! Nigeria! That's how you are quiet. Abojon, you are quiet. Nigeria! Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much, our national chairman. Ladies and gentlemen, you will agree with me, when the national chairman is speaking, you can see the vigor in him. That's a sign of victory. Thank you very much, national chairman. Please, a round of applause to the national chairman again. The moment has come, the time has come. The great mathematician, the reviewer of this blueprint, is going to come on stage. Professor Abdullahi Bapa Bichi, former secretary, executive secretary, Ted Fund, former ASO leader, and presently the distinguished senator to be, inshallah, can or not. Professor, over to you. You have 50 minutes to review the blueprint. Thank you very much, sir.
Your Excellency, distinguished guests, let me begin by making these very important corrections. I am not a professor. My name is Abdullahi Bapa Bichi. Your Excellency, I want to begin by thanking you most sincerely for the confidence that you repose in us and ask us to coordinate the production of this very important document. Distinguished guests, I'm not standing here. The owner of the blueprint is going to present it to the wider owners of the blueprint. And the owner of the blueprint is His Excellency Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso. And the larger owners of the blueprint are the entirety of Nigerians who are living at home or and abroad. And therefore, my assignment is simple. I'm going to provide a preview of the blueprint in the hope that some salient details, that possibly the executive summary that the owner of the blueprint may likely skip, will be highlighted through my preview. Your Excellency, the blueprint is a product of a very lengthy exercise that was conducted over a period of some 6 months, involving a number of people and across the breadth of the policy-making spectrum. Numerous experts in the entire subsectors of the country were consulted directly, some by the president himself, some by the members of the committee, and some by the leadership of the party, so that they can be able to guide the process of the production of the blueprint, guide us on the understanding of the character and the problems of Nigeria, and also give us information about the current situation so that the blueprint will be up to date, will be correct, will be factual, will be simple, will be straightforward for all Nigerians to peruse and understand. Your Excellency, the blueprint is divided into parts. The first part, what we call the front matter, only contains the table of contents and the introduction, which is signed by the owner of the blueprint. The second part, which is the main matter, contains about 25 chapters, all of which are plans, commitments, and expectations that Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso is putting forward to Nigerians for them to understand it and use that as a guide so that they can be able to have confidence in his governance come May 2023 when he is sworn into office. The third part is an abridged citation of the candidate himself. We believe that after telling Nigerians what Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso intends to do to solve the Nigerian crisis, after telling Nigerians the commitments that he is making, after agreeing on a social contract with Nigerians, it is important also for Nigerians to know him. So an abridged citation is the third part of this document. The final part is a clarion call. A clarion call, we believe that a call should be made to all Nigerians, and that call has been made in this document to vote for Nnpp, to vote for RMK, Ida Hausa ticket, and to vote for a new Nigeria and a better Nigeria. I will go straight to the chapter 2 of the document, which is a paragraph, the campaign message. The campaign message which we want all our candidates and all Nigerians to be very conversant with is as follows. After 16 years of PDP and 8 years of APC leadership, resulting in persistent insecurity, unprecedented economic crisis, mass unemployment, increased poverty and destitution, growing and uncontrolled inflation, collapse of social services including education and health services, increased corruption and graft, and increased mistrust and division, the Nigerian citizens are dissatisfied and disappointed, and they are yearning for a positive change. The choice in 2023 general election is very clear. A new and better Nigeria that the Nnpp is poised to put in place, or the continuation of the status quo. This is a direct quotation from His Excellency Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso. The third chapter, His Excellency provides a summary of the pledges, which is going to be presented by himself as part of the blueprint. So I will go straight to the first chapter, which is ensuring unity and human security. There's no document in this country today that has presented a clear understanding of the security challenges facing our country. The document characterizes the VUCA environment that we are living in: volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. Characterize the entire problems that are facing the Nigeria related to security. And the document also believes that we are in an unusual situation. And this unusual situation will require a very special approach for us to be able to end the menace of insecurity and return our country onto the path of peace and security, onto the path of unity and prosperity. 4 programs are presented by the blueprint. The first program, His Excellency realized that the size of the security agencies, their competence, their professionalism, And the kind of equipment and munition they are using is very, very critical to overcoming the security challenges. Realizing that in the entire country, we have not more than 230 policemen and women, not more than 250 armed forces, Army, Navy, and Air Force. He believes that the size is critical. We are undermanned, and that is why it is always a reaction rather than a proactive approach to ending security. And His Excellency is intending to meet the bad guys where they are, get rid of them, demobilize them, so that they will not be able to come and cause any mayhem. In addressing this, the first program, His Excellency emphasized that the number of police officers in Nigeria is going to be beefed up from a little over 230,000 to 1 million men and women. And the number of armed forces is also going to be beefed up to 1 million members of the armed forces. This translates to recruiting more than 1.5 million men and women into the army, into the police, into the navy, into the air force. Now, while this is going to solve the security problem, it is also going to assist in overcoming some of the unemployment crisis. When we have 2 million security men, really, number will not be the problem. Then, how are we going to equip them? How are we going to recruit them? How are we going to handle them after we bring to an end the security menace? And a very clear program is articulated in this blueprint that shows how these men are going to be recruited. The first route is through the community participation and reorientation committees that are going to be set up in all the 8,809 wards in the country. Anybody that is going to be recruited must belong to a ward, must be known by the leaders, the traditional leaders, the religious leaders in the area, so that we are not going to end up bringing in the bad guys into the security agencies. Only the good guys are going to be brought in. We are also going to equip them appropriately. But most fundamentally is when eventually we succeeded in overcoming the security challenges, what are you going to do with 1 million? What are you going to do with 1 million police, etc.? And the plan is we are going to redirect the energies into programs and projects that are in the public interest. In many countries, in many climes, military establishments are involved in quite a number of engineering projects, in quite a number of management of businesses, in quite a number of production of hardware for military, hardware for civilian, etc. And the military industry in Nigeria is going to be resuscitated, is going to be strengthened, is going to be expanded so that this large number of armies in peacetime will be deployed to use in such areas. Fundamentally, where we are going to use them must. These bad guys are always there in ungoverned spaces, in forested areas, in areas where there are no government presence, in areas where there are no access to, no infrastructure facilities, where there are no. We are going to use our security forces, the expanded security forces, to dominate all ungoverned spaces. Sambisa, Dajin Rungu in Katsina, Birnin Forest, and many other ungoverned spaces that the bad guys are hiding will be dominated, will be taken over, and will be converted into integrated farms that will support our fight against food insecurity also. Because we have the number, we also need the capacity. So all the training institutions of military and paramilitary agencies in this country are going to be overhauled. They are going to be properly equipped. They are going to be refocused on the kind of training that is going to make our armed forces more patriotic, more responsive, and more professional. The second program, let me say that in this plan, His Excellency envisaged a situation where the administration of Rabi Musa Kwankwaso will be open for dialogue in the beginning. All dissenting voices, whether they are micro-nationalists that are aspiring for self-determination, whether they are dissatisfied group of youth that are kidnapping people here and there, whatever group that are dissenting, the government will listen to them, will be open for dialogue, but this is not going to be taken as a weakness because the lives and properties of Nigeria will be sacrosanct. We're going to overhaul the entire security architecture so that it is organic, it is practical, centered, and it is measurable. The second program is in respect of the security and socio-economic well-being. It is not just about using force. We have the number, we have the competence, we have the capacity. We use force to go and overtake these bad guys and bring about peace and security. But that's not all. There is a very clear interrelation between the social well-being of the citizens and the security of the country. And this blueprint envisages that and has a very clear plan in respect of that. And for that, His Excellency is pledging that the administration will be guided in all its action programs and policies by the onerous desire to improve the well-being of the citizens. Our economic revamping strategy will support wealth creation and wealth distribution, correcting social dislocation, routing out hopelessness and despondency, and creating job opportunities. Our agriculture plan will ensure that Nigerians of all social strata conquer hunger and improve their economic and improve their income sources. And our education plan will ensure access and quality as well as opportunity for self-actualization of all is guaranteed. Our energy and power strategy will ensure that more businesses sprout and more opportunities are created and the economy is expanded. All this will help in our fight against poverty and injustice, thereby complementing the fight against insecurity. So establishing the socio-economic well-being of Nigerians with the security situation is extremely important. And this blueprint has emphasized that and has provided plans how this is going to be worked out. But when we root out the bad guys and we are looking after the social well-being of all Nigerians, how do we sustain the peace? How do we ensure the unity? So a program of securing the future is also part of the Human Security Master Plan. And the campaign for unity in diversity is going to be reintroduced because our country, more than any other time, is so divided and the level of mistrust is so unprecedented. There is need for a special action so that we can come together, tolerate each other, tolerate difference, tolerate the other, and we will be able to live together in harmony, in peace, and in prosperity. For us to sustain the peace, technology will be deployed massively in all places where there are red flags, so that whatever is happening, government is going to deploy technology. It is completely unacceptable that when you lose your telephone, you will be able to report to the police. They will track it. They will identify the location of the telephone and probably even recover it. But when a man or a woman or a group of children are kidnapped, the kidnappers will use phone and be communicating. That phone will not be tracked. That phone will not be, the people will not be caught, will not be arrested. But when a phone is missing, it will be traced, it will be identified, it will be picked up. But human beings will be kidnapped. So we are going to use technology. The technology is here. It's with us. Deploying it is what is very important, and the RMK administration is going to deploy technology massively in ensuring the future is secured. But most importantly, we have said that the forested areas And where roads are bad, or where there are no roads, are the hideouts for the bad guys. For us to sustain this peace, for us to be able to ensure sustainable peace for the future, His Excellency has a program of redoing, reconstructing the entire federal road networks in the country and putting new ones in place. Of course, this is a very ambitious program, but it's also, and the plan on how to do that is articulated in this program. Let me give the hint at the risk of preempting what he is going to present to you. There are numerous construction companies in Nigeria that are idle, doing nothing. There are numerous construction companies with all the equipment, with all the machines needed to get to be engaged in all sorts of construction works, road construction, rail. They are idle, doing nothing. His Excellency believes that the government will be able to initiate a composition or formation of consortia, multiple of consortia of local and international companies, so that they will be bigger, they will be stronger, they will be richer, they will have higher capacity, and they are going to be engaged to reconstruct all our federal roads, to expand the existing roads, and to build new ones, so that the entire mesh design of Nigerian roads will be accomplished within the first 4 years of the administration of Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso. And guess what? Government is not going to spend 1 naira. The practice everywhere in the world of road constructions is build, operate, and transfer. And on build, operate, and transfer, we are going to provide all the roads in this country, upgrade them to tarmac standard, upgrade them to international best standard. The fourth program is in respect of the enlistment. We all recall that in our country, we have the National Youth Service Corps. While it is important for young men and women to be involved, to have military or paramilitary training after graduation, but we believe that there is no compelling desire to force anyone to be a soldier or to be a policeman. Our plan in this blueprint, when eventually on May 29th we are sworn into office, His Excellency is going to initiate a process of reviewing the National Youth Service Corps Act. It is going to be reviewed in such a way that all graduates that are due to start the National Youth Service are going to be given the option to enlist as soldiers or as policemen. If they so choose, if they so choose to enlist, they are going to be screened and recruited. Instead of 1 year National Youth Service, they are going to do 2 years military training or 2 years police training and continue with career in the force. This is not denying them the National Year Service. After the first year, they are going to be given the NYC discharge certificate, and after the second year, they are going to be posted appropriately, whether they are policemen or they are soldiers, they are going to be posted appropriately. His Excellency is also envisaging a situation where we are going to create new departments in the armed forces. What are these new departments? We don't have coastal guards. We don't have border guards. We don't have forest guards. And all these are going to be created. The number is really it's not going to be too much. We have a cost of about 850 kilometers in this country. The Nigerian Navy is not being able to man our coast appropriately, so we are going to have dedicated coastal guards that is going to be a combined Navy and immigration, and the special coastal guard that will be manning our. We have a land border of over 4,000 kilometers, and 4,000 kilometers is extremely difficult to man if you don't have a well-equipped, well-trained border guards that will be working together with the immigration. So we're going to have coastal guard, border guard, and forest guards that will be supporting to ensure security of our country. Now, when eventually this security plan is implemented, what are the expected projections that the blueprint envisage? Successful implementation of our model will lead to the following payoffs for our country. communities will be at peace. We will regain our position of honor and respect. Our government will be trusted. Justice will be delivered to the bad guys. A people united by the bond of nationhood. We're going to lift the citizens of Nigeria up and out of poverty. We're going to have confident and proud citizens. We're going to have a fertile market for business. And we will have a stable political system. Every child will be an active learner. And we are going to productively engage all our youth. We believe that this security model is efficient, is effective, is feasible, is practical, and it is going to be successful by the grace of God. The next chapter is on the economy. His Excellency arranged his blueprint because of the priority of the cases. Security is the biggest concern of our country, and security is the number one purpose of every government, as clearly stated in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The next issue in this country is the economy. And the commitments are listed as follows. Our economic plan is about you and is centered on you, because at every stage of your life, from birth to school years, to career development, to businesses, to family and getting old, and up to your retirement life, everything you do depends on a sound and strong economy. And that is why the economic plan of His Excellency Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso is centered around you, Nigerians. We will run an emergency rescue plan to salvage the economy, protect the citizens, restore fiscal discipline, improve crude oil and gas production, improve non-oil revenue, target inflation, save the naira from the current uncontrolled devaluation, and limit capital flight from our country. We shall expand the tax base and the tax net by ensuring that businesses that are actively avoiding and/or evading tax are brought into the tax system. We shall create the enabling environment where trade, investment, and businesses will blossom, and manufacturing will be the pivot upon which the Nigerian economy will stand. More and more jobs will be created through targeted investments, special accelerated projects and programs. The economy will be actively diversified. Aggressive efforts will be made to strengthen the non-oil sector, hone the potentialities, harness the opportunities, harvest the yields for the good. Recognizing that our debt profile is quite unhealthy, we shall renegotiate and reschedule the debt payment portfolio so as to run our economy on surplus to allow for the building of the country's infrastructure, post-insurgency, and terrorism. Now, in the detailed action plan, 6 programs are presented, and I'm going to be very quick on this. But let me say that there's no any candidate aspiring for any office in this country that has a clear understanding of Nigerian economy than Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso. In the plan, you are going to get copies of this blueprint. You will see the mastery of the Nigerian economy. He has displayed a parallel understanding of how the Nigerian economy works and what are the problems and what needs to be done to be able to fix the economy. But I'm going to give you a small gist about the plan. You see, what will first catch your attention is the ability of this blueprint to identify the 6 fundamental goals of any economic policy. All economic policies are targeting these 6 fundamental goals. And on all the 6 goals of the economic policy in Nigeria, we are faring very, very, very bad. And that is why we are in this economic mess. What are these economic policy goals? Macroeconomic stability, low unemployment, robust economic growth, sound fiscal balance, sound balance of payment. No. You can't give me 10 more minutes. You see, there are 25. There are 6 goals of every economic policy, and Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso articulate them in this plan. Macroeconomic stability, low unemployment, robust economic growth, sound fiscal balance, sound balance of payment, and sound financial institutions. 6 of them. On all these 6, we are in a serious mess in this country. And 6 programs are presented by Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, 6 clear plans on how we are going to improve on these 6 targets, 6 goals, so that we can accomplish them, so that we can return our country onto the path of economic prosperity, economic growth, and everyone will be happy for it. The first program is the restoration of fiscal discipline. All the challenges are articulated, and what needs to be done to restore fiscal discipline is also enunciated in the plan. The second program is improving non-oil revenue, because our dependence on a single source of income, the oil and gas, is really hitting our country and is causing serious problems. So expanding the non-oil base and ensuring that non-oil revenue sources are improved is very crucial. And how that is going to be done is also articulated in 2 parts. The first part is the reform of the value-added tax and company income tax. We are going to reform the company income tax to make Nigeria more attractive for foreign investors to come and invest, and more attractive for also Nigerian investors to be investing in Nigeria rather than running to Ghana to go and establish companies. Nigeria at the moment has one of the highest company income tax in the world, and that is why investors are being scared, they are running away. We have a plan how we are going to streamline this company income tax with a view to attracting more. The second program is respect of improving. You see, key revenue-generating agencies will have to be reformed. There are a lot of indiscipline in our revenue-generating agencies. And these agencies are going to be reformed, and how they are going to be reformed is clearly articulated in the blueprint. The third plan is improving crude oil production. You see, at the moment, the Nigeria's OPEC quota for oil production is 2. Can you please keep quiet? Bear with me, I'm a school teacher, so when students are making noise, I ask them to keep quiet. So the instinct is still in me. 2.2 million barrels per day is the current quota that INEC specified for Nigeria. OPEC. But at the moment, we are producing less than 1,900,000 barrels per day. We can't even meet the OPEC quota. What are the problems? Insecurity, oil theft, oil bunkering, indiscipline, wrong metering. All these aggregate of indiscipline and underhand activities are responsible for this problem. And we have clear understanding. I will start walking people outside this hall if you are making noise. One of the things that we are going to do is to ensure the full implementation of the Petroleum Industry Act. The Petroleum Industry Act has clear programs how this crude oil and gas production will be improved. And we also have clear program outside the Petroleum Industry Act that we intend to implement, complementary to the Petroleum Industry Act, that will make us to be able to meet the OPEC quota. The fourth plan is in respect of the foreign exchange. Now, it is not rocket science to understand why we are in this foreign exchange devaluation crisis. It is not rocket science. And Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso has a very clear understanding that when we are import dependent, our economy is only importing. We are not exporting. Certainly, there will be huge demand for foreign exchange, and this will lead to increase. That is natural. but there are also artificial. Okay. But there are also artificial ones that are created because of vested interest. How on earth, on this planet, any country will accept that somebody doing nothing will be given allocation of foreign exchange without manufacturing anything, without purchasing anything? Will just walk from one office to another office and sell that foreign exchange and get a profit of billions of naira. This rent-seeking attitude is also responsible for the collapse and the continuous devaluation of naira, because we have two parallel value for naira, one official, one unofficial. Unless we are able to have single exchange rate policy, there is no way Nigeria's currency will stabilize. And this document envisages a situation where there will be single exchange rate in this country, not different one for CBN, different for commercial banks, and different ones when you go to the BCDs, BDCs. Bear with me. You know, I'm a mathematician, not an economist. But you see, we believe that the CBN is going to be encouraged to be able to overcome the difficulty, the natural difficulties, and we are going to also ensure that they overcome the artificial difficulty. We recognize, the blueprint recognizes that there are natural difficulties that all central banks in the world are being faced with. But there are artificial difficulties that are self-created by ourselves, by our systems, by our vested interests, and we have plans how all these difficulties are going to be overcome. We will encourage CBN to adopt a disciplined, managed float exchange rate regime plus some level of capital controls. We will also encourage the CBN to find an exchange rate system that encourages exports, discourages imports, and reduces the need for violent adjustments to stabilize the naira. The fifth program is inflation targeting. We are all living witnesses. We are all living it in this country, that while the naira is being devalued every day, the value of the naira is coming down every day, but the value of everything else is going up. It's only naira that is coming down. The value is, and everything else is becoming more expensive, more expensive, more expensive. That is inflation at double digits. And we have very clear program in this blueprint how we are going to target inflation and reduce it to a single digit as acceptable all over the world. The sixth program is trade, investment, and business. In this respect, we have the RMK industry revolution. The RMK industry revolution is a chapter on its own. We are going to come to that. But under the economy, there is no way you will discuss Nigeria's economy, the goals of Nigeria's economy, without bringing in trade, investment, and business environment. And we have a very clear plan how we are going to handle the coming in of foreign direct investment. Rather than waiting for them to come, who will be going to them? We will first create the environment that is fertile. Remember, the security is going to be taken care of. The challenges of the macroeconomic stability is going to be overcome. All the fiscal indiscipline are going to be rooted out, and the trust is going to be rebuilt for Nigeria and for Nigerian system, and we will be able to go to the investors and invite them and bring them in and give them all the necessary incentives so that they will be able to come and invest in our country. But besides, we're not only interested in the foreign direct investment, we're also interested in building the capacity of domestic investors. Domestic investors constitute a large percentage of the growth of any country. And we are going to focus special attention on domestic investors so that we'll be able to support them, incentivize their activities, and be able to guide them appropriately. And there is a plan also by RMK to be able to guide and go forward in introducing Nigerian companies, Nigerian conglomerates, Nigerian businesses all over West Africa, all over Africa, so that Nigeria will dominate the business space in West Africa and in Africa. Now, after addressing these 6 goals, after providing plans, how to make these 6 economic policy goals successful, the blueprint also envisaged 2 other very important pillars that without them, those 6 objectives, those 6 programs would not be successful. One is, how do we hit the ground running? Who are the people that are going to be in the economic team? Who are the people that are going to be manning all the agencies and departments and the ministries that are responsible for having a strong economy? And to get execution right, we shall set up a team that has the capacity to deliver, and we shall hold them to account for target. We will give them targets. We will give them targets. We want to see the results. When they fail to meet the target, Senator Kwankwaso has a very good promise for them. Anybody in RMK's Kwankwaso that is given the target and he's not able to meet the target, he or she will be the target. The key and most important positions whose performance will significantly affect the performance of the economy will be manned by the very best in our country. That is, those who know what to do and how to do it best will be appointed to head the following offices. 1, the Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning. 2, the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Investment. 3, the Central Bank of Nigeria. 4, the Nnpp Limited. 5, Federal Inland Revenue. 6, Nigerian Customs Services. 7, Nigeria Port Authority. And 8, the National Economic Advisor. These are the people that are responsible for economy. When the economy is good, they are responsible. When the economy is bad, they are responsible. And here, RMK is making a commitment to Nigerians that all these agencies are going to be manned by the very best in this country. And they are going to be held responsible to meeting the targets that are going to be specified. The 8th pillar, that without which this program are not going to, will have serious difficulty, is preventing corruption. Not fighting corruption, preventing corruption. When you are fighting corruption, you are allowing corruption to take place, and then you come and fight it. Here we are saying we will not allow the corruption to take place. We will prevent it. They said prevention is better than cure. We are going to prevent corruption. Corruption erode, well, I don't have to read this, perhaps I will be able to simply go to prevent corruption. What are we going to do to prevent corruption? Let me whisper this. We are presenting this in synopsis. The small print, the details is in a bigger document, which is going to be for execution. So this, we don't want to give the details so that other candidates will be going and stealing our work and be campaigning with it. So we are hiding quite a lot of things. So we are giving you a small synopsis. To prevent corruption, we shall overcome vested interest through the following. Because the entire trouble of corruption in Nigeria is because of vested interest. And we are going to overcome vested interest through the following. 1, remember, RMK says he's going to be guided by the 7-time tested principles in public life. And here he has displayed that. 1, he is going to be running a transparent and open government. And this will be cascaded down to state level, local government level, and all levels of governance, transparent and open government. The use of latest advanced technologies to capture, analyze, share data to prevent, detect, and deter corrupt behavior will be in place. 3, exposing corrupt activities and risks that may otherwise remain hidden. And 4, keep the public sector honest, transparent, and accountable. 5, ensure that public sector employees act in the public interest. And 6, ensure compliance with the 7 principles of public life. That is selflessness, integrity, objectivity, accountability, openness, honesty, and leadership by example. And finally, reform and strengthen the anti-corruption institutions. There are quite a number of other commitments that are made by the president. But what are the projections of RMK after implementing this? We're going to attain macroeconomic stability. Nigeria's economy will recover and become stable. This will lead to higher incomes and better quality of life for all Nigerians. We're going to have strong and credible financial institutions that support growth and sustainable development. We're going to have a very healthy economy. with single-digit control inflation rate, single-digit unemployment rate, and fully recovered GDP with steady growth rate, Nigeria's economy will be healthy. A productive and career-driven youth, with flourishing industry and increased economic activities, job creation will continue to gain momentum, and Nigerian youth will be productively engaged. Ending endemic poverty. As prosperity increases and wealth redistributed, endemic poverty will be tackled, and tens of millions of bottom-of-the-ladder Nigerians will be lifted out of poverty. New businesses will sprout, a fertile market for business, a functional and result-driven oil and gas industry. With improved production, carefully implemented reforms, and constructive engagement with the international oil companies and oil and gas industry, the oil and gas industry will be feeding the industrial revolution and serving the interests of all Nigerians. Because I'm skipping quite a number of things, let me say this. What we believe is that there are models in other climes that have worked very well, and we believe that we will be able to borrow and modify, customize such models to our situation. In many oil economies, the countries are using oil to build other sectors so that they are not oil dependent. And this is exactly what the RMK economic blueprint intends to do. That the oil and gas sector is going to be used as a source of building our industry revolution, our agriculture revolution, so that we will be able to pull back on industrialization, pull back of mass production of goods and services, and fall back on mechanized agriculture as major source of growth for our economy. We're going to have a diversified economy strong enough to absorb unexpected shock, and we are going to make Nigeria the next industrial hub with unlimited opportunities. The next chapter, now after the economy, we are going into social issues. The first social issue of concern to His Excellency is quality education for you and your family. Distinguished guests, if there are 3 nicknames that you are going to give Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, 1, Mr. Education, 2, Mr. Education, and 3, Mr. Education. No one is better equipped to speak about education, how to make education better in this country, than Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso. And the plan will clearly show you how, will clearly justify my claims when you go through it. But I'm going to quickly go through the commitments that he is making. These commitments are serving as a social contract between Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso and all of you Nigerians. Our actions and programs in the education sector will be guided by our philosophy of education as a public good. We shall reform the education sector in its entirety to ensure accountability, expansion of access, and improvement of quality. Every Nigerian must have access to good quality education, not minding their social status. We shall incentivize enrollment of children from poorly underserved communities. We are committed to eradicating illiteracy in Nigeria. Every adult shall have the opportunity to acquire literacy and engage in lifelong learning. We are committed to mopping up all the 20 million out-of-school children in Nigeria in the first 4 years of the administration of RMK. We are committed to providing 1 meal per child per day in all basic schools through the innovative involvement of the community participation and reorientation committees across the country. Government will work with stakeholders, with all stakeholders, to arrest the rot and the decay in our tertiary education institutions and ensure that the perennial industrial action by staff unions is brought to a permanent stop. We're going to improve funding for research and innovation. We're going to establish the Federal Ministry of Higher Education and Human Capital Development. Education, being among the leading priorities, will enjoy adequate funding and support at all levels of provisioning. And we're going to help teachers and other stakeholders to play their role in making Nigeria attain greatness. What are the plans? There are 5 plans in the education subsector. And I think I'm going to speak to the plans very quickly. First, the basic education. You see, Nigeria has 20 million out-of-school children. And they're still out of school. And there's no plan for them. Successive governments are making no plans to even reduce the number. But we are committed to eliminating, to ensuring that we mop all the out-of-school children. How are we going to do that? And being an educationist, being Mr. Education, the model is down to earth and is conveyed in a language that every Nigerian will be able to appreciate, will be able to understand, and will be able to relate to, and will be able to see himself or herself in. If you have 20 million out-of-school children and you want to mop them in 4 years, it means if you are going to have 40 pupils in a classroom, you will need about 500,000 classrooms to have them in school. Where are those classrooms? They are not there. And the first thing that RMK is going to do on the first day in office is to commission the RMK 500,000 classroom initiative across the country. 500,000 classroom initiative across the country. Meaning that with a block of 4 classrooms, every local government is going to have 40 blocks. All the 774 local government in the country will have 40 blocks of classrooms to be able to accommodate all those that we are going to mop on the street. But that's not all. When you mop them up, even if you are going to do teacher per class, it means you need another 500,000 teachers because the teachers we have are inadequate, you need more. And you are also having additional 20 million pupils. So we are also going to have a program of having additional 500,000 teachers to be recruited. But one will be wondering, how on earth are you going to do this? Where is the money? And the money is there. RMK is going to reform the operations of the Universal Basic Education Commission. The Universal Basic Education Commission is an intervention agency that contributes to states to support the development of basic education, primary and junior secondary school. But at the moment, the entire fund is being spent in the so-called book project. Billions, hundreds of billions are being squandered in the name of buying books. And we are going to, because education is on the concurrent list, primary basic education is the responsibility of states, but federal government is intervening through UBEC, and we are going to transform our intervention to intervene in the provision of infrastructure, in the provision of classrooms, rather than provisions of books that are not being provided, that are not being distributed, that are not being used. We are not undervaluing the importance of books. They are extremely very important. But the states will be given the responsibility to do that, and the federal government will also create an opportunity to continue supporting them in the areas of books. But infrastructure for teaching and learning, classroom where we are going to have the student to sit down, we are going to support, we are going to redirect the intervention of UBEC into the provisions of these classrooms. Not only the provision of the classrooms, the existing ones, UBEC intervention is also going to be directed towards renovating them. I want you to show me this school, please. Can I have the image of this school? Fellow Nigerians, this is a primary school in Nigeria where our children are studying. Wubel Primary School. Anybody from Plateau State probably will know Wubel in Mangu local government. This is Wubel Primary School. This is a classroom where in some places there are even no classroom. But having this there is no way you are going to create a self-respecting individual in Nigeria. So we are going to make sure that all classrooms in our basic schools are renovated through the intervention of UBEC, which is the intervention of the federal government under RMK. We are going to, We're going to reinvigorate technical and vocational education nationwide by giving adequate material support to school. We're going to continue to promote and support girl-child education by providing adequate incentives and relevant legislation. We're going to make substantial investment in recruiting and training. And now, the second program is on the National Literacy Campaign. After basic education, the master educationist is going to another unexpected area. It is unexpected because whenever you're talking about education, people won't hear you talking about how you're going to make primary school, secondary school, tertiary education better. Nobody is talking about the large number of population of Nigerians that cannot read and write. The mass illiteracy in our country. A large percentage of Nigerians cannot read and write. And RMK is committed to eradicating illiteracy in our country in 2 stages. The first stage is the one that we are doing at the basic level. If we ensure that no one is denied the opportunity to go and acquire the basic education, the first 9 years of school, if we ensure that no one is denied the opportunity to get this 9-year education from the beginning, then no children will be growing to become illiterate. Now, the second program is targeting the adults one. The mass literacy campaign is going to be reintroduced. We're all living witnesses to Agency for Mass Education. Remember, Agency for Mass Education is a brainchild of Kano State. Kano State started Agency for Mass Education, and the federal government borrowed, adopted it, and even established an agency, a national commission for mass literacy, borrowing from Kano, and the Kano man is coming again to make sure that that fight that was started in Kano to eradicate adult illiteracy is going to be continued, is going to be pursued, and is going to be successful. And then he goes to higher education, the program on higher education. You see, one of the major crises that all players in the tertiary education subsector will be talking about is underfunding, strike, and strike. And underfunding is largely, perhaps, people are attributing it to so many factors, but including the proliferation of public tertiary education institutions all over the country. When you are not funding the existing ones appropriately, you are also establishing new ones. Senator Kwankwaso, in his education master plan, he is committed to a kind of temporary freeze before establishing any new tertiary education institutions. We are committed to upgrading and expanding all the existing ones. We are committed to providing appropriate funding for all existing tertiary education institutions with a view to supporting them to expand their access, improve their quality and standards, as well as becoming globally competitive. Quite a number of programs, commitments are made in the education, including the overall review of the national education policy, etc. The fourth program is in respect of the examination board. And here also, the master educationist, can you help me open this, please? The master educationist is also pulling another big surprise. Examination bodies in Nigeria, quite a number of them, JAM, NECO, WAEC, Nnpp, etc. Unbiased, about 5, 6 of them. All of them in Nigeria today have turned themselves into revenue generators. They charge exorbitant registration fees, exorbitant administration charges, and some of them are even remitting some money to the federation account. Examination bodies, in the eyes of Senator Rabi Musa Kwankwaso and under his administration, are not revenue generating agencies, and they must not operate as such. And therefore, Senator Kwankwaso is making this pledge to all Nigerian parents and youth that from May 29, 2023, when Kwankwaso is sworn into office, all examinations, WAEC, NECO, JAM, Nnpp, MBIS, all examinations after the end of high school, secondary school, or college, all examinations that will lead to the completion of secondary school are going to be free. No child. Thank you very much. 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 You see, the idea that a child will go to primary school for 6 years, go to junior secondary school for 3 years, go to senior secondary school for 3 years, and at the point of examination, because of her inability or his failure or their parents' inability to pay for registration for NECO or WAEC, will have to abandon school, is now going to be a history. No child will be denied the opportunity to write WAEC, to write NECO, to write JAM, to write Nnpp, to write MBIS for failing to pay registration fee, because Kwankwaso will make that free. But that's not the only surprise. The other surprise is this. You see, admission into our tertiary education institutions is very competitive, simply because the places are limited, they are compacted, and the number of people qualified for admission are more than the number of places. While we are committed to expanding access to ensure that all those that merit getting admission into any tertiary education institutions are able to do so, we are also aware that the matriculation examination, the only examination that grants you a place in our universities, polytechnics, and colleges of education, is also having a very fundamental flaw. And that fundamental flaw is that you will write an exam, JAM exam. You will pass 230, 270, 208. The entire family will be happy for their daughter, for their child has passed JAM. The child has not gotten admission because the daughter insisted she wants to read medicine. The son insisted he wants to read engineering, and he couldn't get a place. Next year, that JAM has expired. You have to pay for registration. You have to go and sit for JAM with the chances of getting the same school or higher school or perhaps less school. RMK says that this is also going to be history. JAM examination. Hang on, please. JAM examination under Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso will have a moratorium of 4 years. If you pass JAM, if your children have passed JAM and they are not able to get admission this year, keep the results. Keep their WAEC, keep their JAM. Next year, use the same results. It is going to be respected. It is going to be recognized. It will be used. If, God forbid, second attempt, they also didn't get admission, third attempt, fourth attempt, up to 4 years. And I'm not sure there is nobody that will be so unlucky to attempt getting admission 4 times with correct results and will not be able to do so. So JAM will have a moratorium of 4 years. Now, RMK is committed to funding these examination bodies adequately. They will be adequately funded so that they will be able to meet their obligations as specified by their Establishment Act. The 5th program is scholarship. Can I have the blueprint on the screen, please? You see, Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso is known not only in Nigeria, but across the world as an education promoter and as a philanthropist by excellence. And he supports education not only through good policies, etc., as a governor, but also as a private citizen, has been supporting young men and women, brilliant young men and women, to get scholarship to study at home and abroad. So little wonder if he comes up with a quality scholarship arrangement that the entire Nigerian youth that are proving their worth, that are proving their mettle in their examinations benefit. These are Kwankwaso scholars, Kwankwasia scholars, who he, from his pocket, he sponsored to go to different countries to go and study for higher degrees. All of them have finished, all of them have returned, all of them are having very responsible career. They are pursuing their careers, they are pursuing their dreams. In respect of scholarship, RMK is going to establish competitive scholarships to support the training of our best graduates to pursue higher degrees in the best universities around the world. When we say RMK is going to do this in Gamma, there is no any asking question because he has done it as a governor, he is doing it now as a private citizen, so if he has gotten the opportunity, the sky is going to be the starting point. Recognizing that there are a number of scholarships, different merit-based scholarships in the country, the federal scholarship, the PTDF scholarship, the TED Fund academic staff scholarship, the NIMASA is also doing scholarship, CBN is also doing some scholarships. Quite a number of government agencies are doing scholarships. RMK believes that all these scholarships, the inter-agency cooperation and harmonization is going to be established so that all these scholarships are going to be harmonized, are going to be under the umbrella of the federal government, and so that the scholarships are going to be the same in value, the same in worth, and they're going to have the same target. What is it that we want our young men to go and study, where we want them to go and study, etc. Quality and substance are very important when it comes to RMK as it relates to scholarship. Remember, all the scholarships that he has granted, there are people who graduate with first class or second class upper degrees. So you earn. It doesn't matter who you are, where you are coming from. It doesn't matter whether your parents are poor or rich. It doesn't matter whether you are black or white. It doesn't matter whether you are Christian or Muslim. It doesn't matter whether you are northerner or southerner. Once you have graduated with a first class honors degree or a second class upper honors degree, you are going to be a beneficiary of the competitive scholarship. There are also innumerable international scholarships all over the world: Chevening Scholarship, Commonwealth Scholarship, Bilateral Education Agreement Scholarship, JICA Scholarship, COICA Scholarship, the Ford Foundation Scholarship, numerous of them, MacArthur Scholarship, numerous of them all over. And different Nigerians are assessing the services of this scholarship granting bodies, applying, getting the scholarship going without any involvement of government. We thought that government is going to identify all these and put them in a basket, try to market this scholarship to all Nigerians, and try to advise, put in place a system where Nigerians are going to be guided to meet the requirements of this scholarship granting, international scholarship granting bodies, so that we are going to improve our access to these international competitive scholarships. What are our projections when we implement this education master plan by the master educationists? Our projections: every child enrolled in school, every school a good school, every student an engaged learner, every teacher a caring educator, every parent a supportive partner, every community an active stakeholder, and your government a committed investor in human capital development. The next is another social issue concern, which is improved and modernized healthcare service for you and your family. Of course, the health indices in our country are beyond scary, and the performance of our care institutions is also very disappointing because of unacceptable neglect that they are suffering from. The blueprint has a very clear understanding of the character of the problems of our country as it relates to health, and articulated a clear commitment of what is going to be done and a very clear plan how we are going to do this and what are the expectations after implementing them. Our actions and programs in the health sector will be guided by our philosophy of health is wealth. We shall reform the health sector in its entirety to ensure professional accountability, quality of service, and professionalism. We shall expand access to medical education and training to provide more professional personnel to serve our communities. We shall improve sanitation and hygiene in public places, provide general framework for state and local government councils to develop the guidelines for sanitation inspectors. We shall provide, in conjunction with SES and local government councils, free natal and maternity healthcare services for all families. This has been experimented successfully in Kano. Senator Kwankwaso provided free natal and maternity healthcare services in Kano State throughout his 8 years as governor in Kano State. We believe that women and children deserve a better attention and free medical service in relation to birth are going to be given. In conjunction with other levels of care provisioning, our administration shall coordinate the provision of mobile clinics to access underserved communities across the country. We have primary health care scattered around the country, but there are places that the primary health care, while we are committed to upgrading them, we believe that mobile clinics should be going to underserved areas to be able to attend to the health care needs of those communities that are underserved and some of which are inaccessible. Articulated, but fundamentally in respect of health education, you see, the physician to citizen ratio in Nigeria is very, very scandalous. And this is largely because not only Nigerian physicians are migrating to greener pastures, but also because we are underproducing them. Our Medical and Dental Council is limiting the number of medical doctors that are going to be produced in Nigeria. Our Nursing Council is limiting the number of nurses that are going to be produced in our country. The same thing with midwiferys, pharmacists, medical lab science. All the medical professionals that are direly needed in this country are being underproduced because of some bottleneck. The RMK administration is committed to revising all the laws establishing all these councils with a view to removing any impediment that is hampering the smooth delivery of healthcare services, as well as that is obstructing the production of medical professionals that our country so dearly needs. We need to produce these medical professionals not only for our own sake, but even for export. Let them go elsewhere and serve other countries and send in foreign exchange to our country. If we produce in excess, they serve us, they serve West Africa, they serve Europe, they go all over the world and serve. We are not stopping any Nigeria to go and practice their profession elsewhere, but we need to produce more of them. And the bottlenecks that are artificially in place to stop this mass production of doctors, nurses, pharmacists, medical lab scientists, radiologists, dentists, etc., is going to be removed under the RMK administration. The plan is in 10 parts, and I'm not going to go through them. You are going to get the document. You're going to read through the plan, the priority of health, number 1. Number 2, the enforcement of the pursuing of key performance indicators by the Federal Ministry of Health. Number 3, reform of the National Health Insurance Scheme. Number 4, revitalizing health infrastructure all over the country. Number 5, introduction and promotion of biomedical engineering. Under all these sub-items, there are plans, commitments that are made. So I'm only reading the plan without really reviewing the national drug policy. That is number 6. Number 7, radical overhaul of the national health management system. And number 8, research and development, converting research and development into innovation, etc. And then number 9, increase budgetary allocation to the health sector. And number 10, healthcare mapping of the Nigerian Federation. Your Excellency, the 8th chapter is also on social issues. And it is in respect of women and children. Education, health, and then women and children. These are the three key social issues that are a very serious source of concern to Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, and they are the major source of concerns for every well-meaning Nigerian. Why are we isolating women and children and doing a special chapter and a special program?